Hello again, guys, here in the Mo Puppy Lab making magic happen. So a bunch of people were asking about arched A-arms for other bikes. I finally made a few. So these are my 450 arch A-arms. As you can see, extreme arch. I can do a little bit less if you want to be a pansy about it, but that's what you need, right? If you look at right there, you're not losing any ground clearance. It's flush with the bottom of the axle. Um, because of the bike's at an angle right now, the axle hangs down a little bit beneath the boot, right? So the boot will be protected. I'm going to put a piece of flat bar right there for boot protection. But extreme arch, obviously that's just tacked right now. I'm going to go weld it up in a little bit. But so the obvious benefits is extra clearance. That versus that, way more clearance. But there are some secondary benefits that you might not notice. So first of all, when you lift these bikes, like this one has a spring spacer and a bracket lift, the axle will bind at the bottom of the CV cup. The shaft will hit the cup, and it'll wear in there, introducing metal into the joint, causing premature joint failure. If you just have one lift, it's fine, but you go like, 2.5 inches of lift on this baby, that's what happens. You can correct that by sliding the axle out of the cup slightly. It changes the geometry of the joint. You can do that by adjusting your heims. The wheel actually toes in a little bit with the lift kit anyway, so you kill two birds with one stone. You adjust your alignment, and you get rid of your CV inner joint binding to allow a little more down travel. This thing's pretty much maxed out right now, but once I do that, it'll let it go drop a little bit farther. That's why the shocks are hard to put in. I made that snorkel too. It came out very nice. So yeah, that looks really good. And it, pretty well protected. These bars will protect the joint almost as good as that is. I mean, this little plastic thing is adding some protection. I could add something like that, but I'm probably not going to. But you can see when it turns, the joint doesn't get anywhere near it. Plenty of clearance. And you can see as you turn, see how it actually slides in and out of the cup when you steer? They do that from the factory, and that's why you want your wheel all the way to the left when you're trying to put it on the bolt. It makes it easier. So benefits of the arched arms, getting sidetracked. More clearance is the obvious real benefit. Looks way better. Adjustable alignment. With the two heims, you can adjust your caster, and you can adjust your camber, and then you have your toe adjustment, obviously, with the tie rod. You already had that. So it makes your alignment pretty much fully adjustable, and it fixes the binding issue. And also, you can see that the angle on this joint isn't super terrible anymore at full down travel. That one is pretty bad. I changed the angle on the plate a little bit when I did my jig to save some pain off of that. So if you look at the arm straight across, you can see that the axle actually dips right between the two of them, so you're not wasting any clearance. Made about 10 different bends to get that right. Absolutely maximizing the ground clearance. And the reason I can do that bend is because I'm using extremely thick wall pipe. Here's a little sample. There's my jig. So you put that on there, bolt it down, bolt it in there, boom, comes out perfect every time. Very hardcore. Came out really nice. You got to make a step to the other side now and finish welding up this, but I think this is going to be one happy customer. It's my uncle, he better be. No. But yeah, it came out looking really decent. Interested to see. This bike doesn't sag a whole lot, but with sag, it's going to look perfect. This will be almost horizontal, which is what you want for maximum clearance. But yeah, it came out really well. If you want a set of these, I haven't calculated the price yet. It uses a little bit less material than the back does, as far as length of pipe and stuff goes, but it does use ball joint pads, which are 1/4 inch thick steel or thicker than that, and kind of a pain in the butt to make with the taper and everything. So email me for prices. This is 450 Foreman. I can ship these out pretty soon. I'm doing next one I'm doing is P500, and after that I'll make some for 300s. Stock length axle, arched arms for 300s. But yeah, you'll be doing a bunch of these. If anyone has any questions, email me at christianthemudpuppy@gmail.com for orders. People have been abusing that email. I don't really like to take questions on there because it clutters up my inbox and it makes me have a hard time keeping track of who I have orders going for and stuff. So please just email me at that email if you have business inquiries, you want to order something. If you have a question, you can message me on YouTube, you can comment on YouTube, you can message me on the Mud Puppy question answer page. There's plenty of ways to ask, right? Just ask random questions. The email is more for ordering stuff. And like I said, I don't have pricing figured out yet, but email me